What's going on, B-Dot, my brother? How you feeling?
Oh, I'm doing great, brother. How you doing?
Good, man. Hey, I'm happy.
Yeah, that's my boy Justin. B-Dot, he subscribe to the same stuff he do.
Oh, no doubt.
Going straight into it, let me ask you, man, do you feel like you the first real conscious battle rapper to exist? I know I asked this question to my guy Quentin, and he was saying that Lux is, but you know what I'm saying? I was like, but Lux ain't he brought socially consciousness to the game, and I think you brought like that new information. What you think on that?
Yeah, I think that I am, because I think that, you know, to truly be conscious, you got to stand on some type of foundation, like in terms of a particular ideology, like a particular, you have to either belong to a particular organization, you have to subscribe to a particular worldview or spirituality, you know, whatever you want to call it, and you have to make that like very solid and very much so the brand of who you are. So my whole thing is, you know, I'm a Pan-African, you know what I mean? I'm a Black nationalist Pan-African, and I put that out there as such. There's no puzzle as to, you know, who I am or what I'm about. I think with Lux, you know, he said some dope things, and obviously he inspired me, you know, a great deal. But I don't think we know what Lux is. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know. That's why a lot of people joke with him. I think Charlie Cliff said it, or somebody said it that battled him. They was like, are you Muslim or Christian? Are you know what I mean? Because there's really no base that he stands upon. I think he just, you know, he said some dope shit in a couple battles about Black empowerment, but he didn't really stand on something. And ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? He don't necessarily have to, but I'm just making the case on why I believe I'm probably the only true conscious battle rapper, because I actually stand on a certain, you know, platform and perspective that I don't waver from.
Okay, I definitely feel that. Let me ask you, man, is Rum Nitty conscious, man? I'm sure you had a personal conversation with him. I've seen him drop jewels, but I'm like, is he conscious?
Well, once again, you know, I think that I may have a different definition than you. I think that a lot of people know information, right? Like we've seen Rum Nitty, I forgot, he said something real, it was one battle where he said something about like, ain't no J in the Hebrew language.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and only if you study or if you come across or if you researching in that field, that's the only way you would know something like that or figure something like that to be important. So right. I think that he probably studies, or I think that he probably came across some information, but I haven't dealt with him enough to quote unquote call him conscious or not. And once again, my definition is like, you really got to be from a certain school of thought. Like you really have to subscribe to something in particular, and really live that lifestyle, really live that worldview, in my opinion, to be conscious. But once again, because the word conscious, you know, it simply just means to be aware. So everybody's right. Aware, you know what I mean? So is he conscious? Perhaps. And I believe we're all conscious, but is he Black power or, you know, Black nationalist, you know, unapologetically African, you know, things of that nature? Probably not. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? I just think that I'm probably the only one like that, really, you know?
Yeah, I was shocked to see JC get up, and I want to have that debate with you, you know.
What happened?
I said I was shocked to see JC get up and walk away. He don't want to have that debate with you.
Oh yeah, you know, these topics get kind of touchy, man. And, you know, I think that I think he was feeling himself after the battle. He did exceptionally well. You know what I mean? He did phenomenal, and I think he was just kind of feeling himself after the battle, and he was still hyped up and shit. You know, me, I'm all about having a conversation about information. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all about building, and if we disagree, we disagree. Some people can't handle that type of, you know, contention. You know what I mean? Some people can't handle that because, you know, it's emotions attached. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. He's a Hebrew Israelite. You know what I mean? So he believes in, you know, outside of battle rap, I respect people's beliefs. So let me make that clear. But if I'm battling you, of course I'm going to try to attack something about you. So it's not that I don't respect his belief. You know, he's a Hebrew Israelite. So, you know, he believes that Black people are the true chosen people. And that just, you know, the fake Jews stole our identity and all that. And, you know, that's cool. I get that, you know, but if we having a simple conversation about it, you know, as men, we should be able to, you know, disseminate the information and go over it and then, you know, come to some type of agreement, some type of conclusion, whether we're going to agree or disagree. But yeah, he's kind of emotional and he kind of got up, you know what I mean? Everybody was giving me slack for that. Like, I was tripping and I was like, oh shit, I was just building with bro. Like, we was just talking. Like,
he
you know what I mean? Like,
he wasn't ready, man.
Man, you know what I'm saying? So that's on him, man.
Hey, so with that being said, B-Dot, in your opinion, bro, why do you think people not challenging you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I thought JC was gonna do it, and I love, you know, what you did with the. And I'll be trying to figure out what you're gonna do before you go into the battle or whatever. So I love what you did with the Hebrew Israelites and the GD thing. I said, oh, that was good. I like that. Why do you think they're not willing to go into the books, into the literature, into ancient Egypt, and you know, or you think they're not willing to read, do the research like you do? You know, why do you think people not challenging?
I just think it's not who they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think for me, this is my actual lifestyle, and I just so happen to bleed it into battle rap. I feel like I owe it to ancestors. I feel like I have such a talent and such a gift. What better way to use it than to dedicate it to the ancestors and try to shed light and bring information to the forefront? And everybody's not concerned with that. You know what I mean? It's not who they truly are in their real life. So I think, and we take somebody like JC in particular, you know, when people have, not to down him or anybody like this, when people have insecurity issues and they're trying to fit into a tough genre and trying to be gangster and trying to be tough, that's their main concern. Like, that's somebody like JC's main concern. How can I'm an incredible writer. How can I make these people believe the things that I'm saying as far as me being tough and me being street? So they're not really going to challenge me because we have different objectives. My objective is to drop the information and drop knowledge and then, you know, get on and plant seeds and whatever people, whatever people do with the information, they do with the information. Like, that's my objective. My opponent's objective usually is, let me get in here and let me show that I'm the street nigga and B-Dot ain't the nerdy, corny dude trying to come in here and drop knowledge and we ain't trying to hear that shit. You know what I mean? So we have different objectives and they not really built to, I mean, you can't really contend with years of knowledge by just doing a couple Google searches before a B-Dot battle. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't really nothing they could do. You know what I mean? Like, if you about to battle B-Dot, you got to catch up with my 5 to 6 years of studying. There's really nothing you could do. I mean, like, if that's not who you are naturally, you know what I'm saying? So I think the only person that tried to challenge me on a intellectual or theological level was probably Loso. Yeah. And he didn't even really go in like he could have. I'm waiting for somebody to I'm waiting for somebody to really delve into African spirituality and try to prove to me why it's wrong the same way that I try to prove to people why the Bible is, I'm not going to say wrong, but the Bible is like tampered with and a little corrupted. So the same thing that I do to people and do to people's perspective and lifestyle, I want somebody to truly do it with me, but I want them to do it with me, you know, based off the actual concepts that I stand upon, based off African spirituality. You know what I'm saying? Like, they could, like, I practice all of it because I'm a Pan-African, so I practice all of it. So they can jump into Kemet, they can go into Yoruba, they can even mess with some Igbo if they want to. So, like, get it. They can fuck with the Zulu shit. They can fuck with Voodoo. Like, they can get into the spiritual systems and they can say, oh, well, you practice this and practice that, and here's why this is wrong, and here's why this ain't gonna help our people. I would much rather I would much more respect that if somebody was able to do that. But more than likely, what they're going to do is just paint this narrative where they split the room, where it's like B-Dot is coming here with that preaching shit, and we don't want to hear that shit. And that's an easy crowd winner, you know what I mean? And that's normally what people do, man. Because the thing about me, man, is the reality is that 90% of the crowd is not there to hear what I say anyway. So when I do win them over, it's just based off my conviction and my passion, really. But they're not really, ain't nobody coming to a battle, to a URL event like, yeah, I'm here to get some knowledge from B-Dot. You know what I mean? Like, it's not what they're there to do.
Let me ask you this, B-Dot. Why didn't you come to St. Louis down here to battle Verb first time? And, wait a minute, and do you regret it? Because Bro, that Mike Brown angle would have hit so hard.
Oh my God, you would have killed my brother.
That would have hit so hard here, bro.
Hey,
I know it.
We St. Louis
biggest
guys,
mistake of my career.
We heard that, bro. We St. Louis dudes, bro. When we heard that, we like, damn.
Yeah, bro.
And we researched it. We was like, yeah, this man didn't do that, bro. We was like, wow.
That was incredible. That was incredible.
Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. I mean, honestly, the whole Verb situation, I botched that whole situation. It's probably the biggest mistake in my battle rap career, you know, because my thing with Verb is that we had a lot of back and forth. The battle was scheduled before on LA Battlegrounds out here in LA. Excuse me, I'm a little under the weather, by the way, so if I keep coughing.
Okay.
But yeah, we already had the battle scheduled. Then he kind of reneged on the battle, and then yada, yada, yada. So all this shit happened up until the point of me being offered the battle in St. Louis. So I kind of felt like I was being played. But I should have just took it, man, and I should have just been man enough to say, all right, I'm gonna let you get this one because you the big homie, you the vet in the game. And you are giving me a shot.
Right.
He the A side. Yeah, he the A side. I should have looked at it as such, but I let my ego kind of get in the way a little bit because I felt like he was playing with me because he if he never said that he would come battle me in LA, then that would be a different story. The fact that he accepted the battle in LA and then kind of reneged on it, it kind of made me feel like he playing games. So I kind of like took it a certain way. But man, if I could have that moment back, I definitely would have came to the Lou. Obviously, that's an uphill battle facing one of the greatest battle rappers of all time, Verb, in St. Louis. That's a tough seat right there. You know what I mean? But I should have did it because even if I would have lost, you know, it's just more. And people, the funny thing is that people think that I actually did lose to Verb, which I respect. So if people think I lost, I would have much rather had lost in St. Louis. You know what I mean? So it's a battle I wish I can get back, man, and do it the right way. I would have definitely did it down there.
Man, that angle would have killed him.
Yeah, that would have killed him. Let me ask you this, D-Dot. I don't see you really getting the reception that you got when you first came into the game. Why do you think that? And then do you feel compelled to try to bring that information with those, you know, super moments like you had at the beginning of your career?
It's tough, man. You know, I think it's just becoming redundant. And I think that, you know, for somebody like me, the type of battler I am, I should probably only battle once a year, if that. I should probably really only battle like once every 2 years, you know what I'm saying, just to come in the game and spice it up and give it a new look. Because when somebody like me continuously battles, I'm not going to waver from my worldview because it's truly who I am. So it's like whoever I battle, you can pretty much predict the angle. For instance, they want me to battle T-Top. That's something that's out there. I was supposed to battle T-Top for Volume 4. That's happening tomorrow. But I backed out of the battle just because of some family stuff. But
we talked to him. He said you was running.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. But like when they say B-Dot versus T-Top, the first thing that comes to y'all minds, I'm sure, is B-Dot is about to have an angle about drugs and how drugs affect the black community. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm becoming redundant because but see, most of the fans, like on Twitter and on Facebook, when they hear about me and T-Top, that's what they say. And so my thing is like, okay, well, obviously I'm becoming very redundant in this culture. And, you know, people know my standpoint on us as a community. So based on my opponent, they can pretty much predict, like, you know, what my opponent brags and boasts about. I'm going to, like, try to flip that on them. Obviously, T-Top brags and boasts about selling drugs. So B-Dot is going to have a drug angle. You feel me? So I think that's what's happening. Like, every time I get up there, bro, and I do something and I have a deep third round, they already anticipating it. They already pretty much know what I'm going to say. And so it's not hitting as hard as it used to when I first came in the game.
But I'm going to say this, B-Dot, man, you should still dive into it because I've seen plenty of battles where people be like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. People try to outthink you. And some of the best battles, the person has went ahead and did it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, people telling Goods that he can't go in there and talk that money stuff to Cassidy. And he's like, of course I'm going to go in there and talk that money stuff to Cassidy. You know what I'm saying? Embrace that criticism and say, I'm still going to do it and I'm going to do it better than what y'all even think. I don't know. No, that's a good way to look at it too, bro. That's definitely a good way to look at it. And I'm going to be honest with you, sometimes I do look at it like that, but
what kind of pulls me back from battle rap is the fact that I make great music. So if I was just like only a battle rapper and I felt like that's the only thing I could do, then yeah, I would probably just push through it and say, you know what, y'all know my angle, but I'm still gonna take the angle and I'm gonna make it so good. But when I see that my material is becoming redundant and that I'm not really getting the same traction I used to get, then that tells me in my mind, okay, it's time to just focus on the music. It's time to focus on other things. This book I'm trying to write, this podcast, other ideas that I have to get the information out there, because I feel like the information is the information. It's just, different platforms that I can, disseminate the information upon. So it's like, that's what kind of fucks with my head. Like, have I overstayed my welcome in battle rap? You know what I mean? So I kind of think I have at this point. You know what I mean?
Right. So, B-Dot, what was your thought process with the URL smack angle and third round Emerson Kennedy? Because I felt they kept trying to force the PG on you. Even then, they announced it as it. So I think it was a brilliant angle to say, like, since I try to do this, I want to do this. Amazing. Your thought process of it?
Yeah, thank you so much, bro. So what actually happened with that battle is when it first was booked, I was told it was not a PG. And so I never had that concept of going at them like that. But if you know anything about URL West Coast events, KG the Poet is the one that organized.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So it's not really. So you're not really talking to Smack or Beasley directly if you on a URL West event. So I wasn't really talking to him. I was just talking to KG. KG was telling me, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have you on the card. It's gonna be a one-off. It's not gonna be a PG or nothing like that. We're gonna show you love." All right, cool. So time goes by, and I battle. Speaking of Verb, I battled Verb and Loso back to back, like 7 days apart in October, and then I battled Verb and Loso 7 days apart, and then I think about like 20 days later was my Emerson Kennedy battle. It was like early November, so I was crammed for time, and then at the last minute, I want to say like 3 weeks out, 2 weeks out maybe, KG hit me back and said, you know what, bro? They saying it has to be a PG. So I had already created, so that's where my frustration came from, because I had already created some of the material for EK while I was prepping for Verb and Loso, and while I was doing those two battles, which were extremely important. Here I am spending my time, working on the EK battle, then to be told it actually has to be a PG. I was really upset. So that's when I had like my first 2 rounds done pretty much, and then I needed a third, and they kind of just set it up. They kind of gave me the layup, like, by doing that, because I was hot. I was mad. So I'm like, okay, y'all gonna make me do this PG now after I already committed to it? All right, bet. It's how we gonna do it then. So that's kind of how that came about.
Really? I'm surprised they dropped the battle. I was like, I know they ain't gonna drop.
Yeah, they was getting pressure, man. They was getting pressure from the fans. The fans was like, "Y'all better drop that beat out battle." So they was getting pressure. But it's all good now. We got a great relationship, man. Shout out to Beasley, shout out to Chico, Smack. Them is my guys, man. They show me extra love even after that, bro. So they stand up dudes. I went at them hard, and they still, like, it ain't even like it's love. They show me so much love, I can't even believe it, to be honest with you. So
that's what's up, bro, for real.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to make sure before we get off the phone, B-Dot, because I know you're short on time and everything. I want to let y'all get in this question. I don't know how I ran across it, but I think Whack 100 gave you a shout out. So you were speaking on music.
Yeah.
Why you and Whack 100 didn't lock in? Because I know he's really influential in the industry.
Yeah, Whack 100. We from the same city. We from Pacoima.
Right.
So he a big homie in my area and things like that. So it's not that we haven't that we not going to link up. Timing is everything. You know what I mean? Like, to be honest, timing is everything. So it'll probably come together sometime in the future. But Whack. One thing about Whack, man, he a wild boy. You know what I mean? Like, he gonna be out here, stirring up shit, and he gonna be out here speaking his mind and getting into conflict and confrontation. So I think Whack know what type of dude I am, and that's not really my get down, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so I think he respect what I do, and I got great respect for what he do. So right now it's just just a support thing. He support what I do, I support what he do, and everything he got going. With Blueface and Cash Money West and all that, everything he got going. So if it ever permits itself and it makes sense and it lines up, and he really truly supports, you know, what I'm about as far as like black empowerment and things of that nature, and being like, you know, more about unification and separation, then, you know, we'll make that happen. Until then, it's just mutual love and respect. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Let me ask you this. So I know you cool with Brother Polite. So what do you feel about the whole scandal thing that he had got caught up in? You think it was something that out of his power, or Nah,
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You know, I'm one of them guys that I just believe where there's smoke, there's fire. You know, you can't keep telling me something over and over and over again, and then like it has to be true in some fashion. You know what I'm saying? So, Polite is my brother. The interesting thing is that he's my brother just on a real life tip. Like, he's been nothing but accommodating to me and my family, my children. You know, going to his house, you know, feeding us, you know, showing us a good time, and everything of that nature. So my love for him is in that regard. You know what I mean? But it's like, you can love your family member, but shit, if they get caught doing something wrong, they get caught doing something wrong. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying he did or didn't, but I have to be very careful about my brand and what I represent. You know what I mean? I can't get caught up in somebody else's scandal, whether they did or did not. You know what I mean? I just think that that's his business, and he got to clean it up. But I just feel like us as black people, man, we can't be so dismissive to people's complaints. You know what I mean? It's like the R. Kelly shit. You know what I mean? Everybody was so dismissive to those young black women's complaints that over the years nobody really said nothing and really stopped it. So there's a lot of complaints on Polite, and I think that they need to be addressed and they need to be fixed. You know what I mean? I don't think everybody's just saying that for no reason. I don't think he's maliciously doing anything, but maybe something is just not good on the business end. You know what I mean? Like, maybe he needs to tighten something up on the business end. I don't know.
Right. And let me put this on record too for anybody listening. First of all, we all black business owners or whatever. A lot of us, you know, it's small business. We all starting off. So for the most part, when you see companies, they have already had their early mistakes. You know, these companies be 100 years in, $1 million, hundreds of $1 million companies. So a lot of times when you see like a Brother Polite trying to do his thing, or a Justin down in St. Louis with a production company, or anything like that, any small time business, they are still working out kinks and mistakes because they don't have the infrastructure to support maybe the large amount of authority, because Brother Polite is a huge name in the community. So he may be prepared, it might be too much as far as the inquiry, trying to execute, taking all money, not being able to checklist or whatever, anybody they might keep the money from. You know, so business is difficult, man. It's unlike anything else. You can't read about it historically, anything like that, because business from 10 years ago is way different from business now. Like, business is forever changing. So, you know, it's a difficult beast. You know what I'm saying? We might talk spirituality, religion, race, politics, all that type of stuff, but business is a whole nother monster on the table. Like,
absolutely. No, you absolutely right, bro. That's a great way to look at it. And, you know, black people, we have to give our black businesses a little bit of leeway and, like, you know, a little bit of benefit of the doubt, because we are coming from such a fucked up place. We so far behind, you know what I mean? So, you know, but, you know, it is what it is, man. Some of those allegations are really, really disheartening and really, really heartbreaking, you know what I'm saying? So I hope that they're not true, and I hope that it's just, you know, like you're saying, it's just, you know, business that needs to be tightened up, and, you know, and sometimes that happens early on in business. I hope that that's the case.
Right. And I feel the same way, D-Dot. So look, I know you run out, I know you short on time and everything. So my guy.
Hold on, wait. I got one more question.
No, y'all good. Y'all good. No rush. I probably got like good like 10, 15 minutes if y'all need. You know?
Okay, cool.
I want to go into this. Go ahead, Souldier.
All right, read that. Do you feel like you lost any battles? And my other question is, who you got coming up, or who do you want this year?
I feel like the only two battles, if I was to say I lost any battles, I think the only two would be Verb and JC.
Man, you said JC.
But here's what I'll say. Like, as a battle rapper, like when you on that stage, it's a certain energy you feel that makes you feel victorious or not, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know what I mean? So I feel like against Verb, unfortunately, like we were talking about, it was in front of the wrong crowd. I'm in front of, you got to remember that event, the main event of that event was Disaster versus Oxymidon, the Russian.
Yeah.
So he got the whole Russia in there. You feel me?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm battling Verb. It's two brothers battling me. And you feel me? I'm talking about police brutality. I'm talking about Mike Brown to a crowd of white Russians. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you got to know what you're talking about.
Exactly, bro.
Verb over there waving feathers and vacation.
Oh my God! I still don't understand. That line, bro. Waving feathers and Mason Bethel. I'm like, what?
That's Verb for you, bro.
Salute the Verb, but I still don't understand that.
Nah, Verb the homie. Listen, Verb just like to rhyme a lot. Verb just say whatever rhyme, Verb will say it. That's my boy though. Shout out to Verb.
Hey, that's my boy too. I told Justin that too. I was like, Verb, you just rhyming.
Yeah, he like to rhyme. Verb like to rhyme, man. But yeah, so I just felt like I feel like I slightly beat Verb. I feel like I got the first, and I feel like I got the third. He definitely got the second. But I kind of feel like that's one where if somebody walked up to me and said, "Hey, I think Verb got you," I would respect it. And the JC battle, I just feel like the crowd wasn't fucking with me at all, man. I feel like I hit the stage, Smack announced me, and you kind of know the vibes as soon as you get announced. Like I got announced, and maybe like 20% of the crowd would cheer, 20, 30%. JC hit the stage and he got 70, 80, 90% of crowd participation by him just hitting the stage. I mean, it's like, so he built that up though. He earned that. He earned respect from that New York crowd. And I kind of think I wasn't able to capture the crowd that night. So I mean, bar for bar, like if you just read it on paper, I felt like I got with him and potentially got him up out of there. But if you watch it, obviously he had more crowd participation during his rounds. And so, I respect that. That's another one that somebody say, I think you lost to JC. I would respect that. Everything else, though, no, sir. Everybody else got washed up.
You feel you beat Swave and Cortez?
Man, I kicked Swave ass. Like, Swave, that's the most. Listen, that's the most frustrating one, man. When they say I lost to Swave, I be ready to jump out the window head first. That shit's so frustrating, bro. This man literally said, "Is he still considered a conscious rapper if I knock him unconscious?" That's some of the basic shit. Like, my little sister can write that bar, bro. Like, he wasn't saying shit to me, fam. He wasn't saying shit to me, bro. And, like, speaking of, like, the Mike Brown angle that I took against Verb, and,
I'm glad you
tried to bring up the hat.
Yeah, I'm glad you're speaking of that.
Yeah, he tried to bring up the hat, but that's just false information because, okay, so, by the way, I'm part owner of a clothing brand called Kinfolk Clothing now. Okay. At the time of the Verb battle, I was not. I was not part owner of Kinfolk Clothing at the time of the Verb battle. We just had a great relationship, and I would call them and I would let them know my angle for my next opponent, and they would try to make me pieces based upon whatever angle I was taking. So they created the Mike Brown hat exclusively for me, right? Exclusively for me. So after the battle, they posted me wearing the battle on their Instagram, and then they immediately got hit up by people that were interested in purchasing. Now, me at the time, if I was co-owner or co-partner, I would have still said no. I would still say that's not cool. You know what I mean? Like, we shouldn't be profiting off a young man's death or whatever. The hat was just made for me to represent him exclusively. It wasn't made for sale, but at the time, that was their decision. You know what I mean? My co-partners that I'm in business with now. Had I been on board at the time, I would have advised otherwise. So to purport it as you made that hat with the intentions to sell, that's dishonest, and that's just a fucked up way to try to assassinate somebody's character. That type of dishonesty. Yeah, like that shit kind of had me hot because it's like, I would respect that more if that was the truth and you just exposed me. But being that it was not the truth, you know what I mean? And he was supposed to have according to him, he was supposed to have a Mike Brown representative there. I would have just been extremely upset. All the work I do for our community and the fact that I was the only battle rapper to ever mention Mike Brown in a battle, I would have been highly upset at a Mike Brown representative frowning upon me, because I would be like, bro, I'm one of the dudes that still keeping his story alive. Like you shouldn't have no issue with me. As far as the hat situation, that you have misinformation there. So, anyways, as far as Swave, lyrically, I kicked his ass, bro. There's no way. Like his slow rapping ass, there's no way.
I love how you outsmarted Cortez because he thought you was gonna come in a different way, and you didn't talk about basically that. What he said.
Exactly. And that was around the time that I just felt like people were trying to predict my angles, and like I was mentioning earlier, I become redundant in a certain space and time where people already know, like, oh, B-Dog gonna say this, B-Dog gonna say that. So I wanted to switch up the game, you know what I mean? And that battle within itself was a gift and a curse, because although I'm from gang culture, I don't want to actually like participate in it anymore and glorify it. But I had to kind of take that kind of like risk and roll the dice on that one, just to throw my opponent off and to further like bring a bigger message to the forefront about gang culture and about, in that third round, I was breaking down where it started from, as far as like the Black Panther Party being destroyed by the COINTELPRO, and then kind of gang banging or gang organizations kind of rising from the ashes of that, so to speak. So I thought it was a dope way to still be gangster, or I thought it was a dope way to be gangster but still be conscious. You know what I mean? So it's a gift and a curse though, because I feel like it's still haunting me to this day, because I feel like people want to use that as a contradiction, and people want to say that I'm conflicted or I'm confused or I can't be both. But my argument is that we are both. You know what I mean? It's no way around it. We from the street, we street brothers, and we can be conscious. And I think that what we need to do as a community, we need to utilize anything that we've created. So we've created a culture of brotherhood and unity within these gangs. Now, all you have to do is change the objective of the gangs. Change the objective. If you got brothers on the street that love each other, that show camaraderie and treat each other like family, boom. So now you got a organization that could potentially do something positive, that has loyalty and trust and love for one another, that we're trying to help each other up. So if we change the objective, change it from, oh, what color you got on, what street you from, I want to kill you, bang, bang, shoot 'em up. Change that from like, all right, hey, brother, what you on? What skills do you have? What you think about this business and this idea? Let's get some money. Change the objective. So I think I could definitely be a Paru and still be conscious and still help my community if I change the objective. And that's pretty much, the type of message that I'm trying to get out there. So I don't, people still try to use that whole contradiction against me, like JC used it. Everybody uses it, and it's just like, well, y'all using it because y'all watch too many movies. Y'all still think it's menace to society out here. You know what I mean? It's not that no more.
And the last part of the question be that, you got anybody you for the battling or anybody you want on your list?
Yeah, I think it's some potential classics to be made. I think me and T-Top put that energy out there already. And once the energy is out there, it kind of manifests itself. So I think me and T-Top is a battle that's probably going to manifest itself this year. There's been some talks about Iron Solomon. Although I don't necessarily want to take. Yeah, it'll be good, man. But once again, I'm going back to the.
Go ahead, embrace out angle move, man. I'm telling you, go ahead, destroy the Jews, bro. I know we heard it 3 times. But here's the thing.
But here's the thing, right? So Mook did it, and then JC did it. You know what I mean? So it's like, they both did it versus Iron, and then as soon as if me versus Iron is announced, the whole battle rap culture says, okay, B-Dot is finna talk about Iron being a fake dude. You know what I mean? Like you already know. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of skeptical on battles where people know the angle I'm gonna take. But I am interested in T-Top. I already got like 2 rounds for T-Top. You better stop playing with me.
I need you to kill Saga, bro. I need you to put. I don't think you came 100% with the Wilson joint. I need you to kill Saga. I know he already dead, I need you to just do that. whatever they offer you, bro, take it for the culture. Kill flying, bro, so we can put it inside this crystal shit.
You know what's interesting, man? I got you, bro. But the interesting thing is, me and Saga is really cool. Like, literally, that's funny you mentioned his name, man, because just last night we were talking about doing a song together, man. We were talking about doing a song together. So I don't know, man. I don't know. And my thing is like this, like, once again, redundancy, right? B-Dot versus Saga. B-Dot is about to break down how black people shouldn't be Christians. I mean, you know, you see it coming from a mile away. But I don't know, man. I got to think about it. But I think that's still a potential one. That's still a potential one.
Hey, look, whether you cool with the man or not, it ain't even about the battler for real. It's about the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't even about who in front of you. It's about what you know what I'm saying, what you put out there. And that's what I love about it. Because it don't matter who you put in front of B-Dot, he dropping that knowledge, that constant information, man, that the world, hundreds of thousands of people are seeing this shit. Like, regardless of your knowledge how it used to be, it's still like constant input because they're not in that space. It's not even in the you know, it's all not conscious. You know what I'm saying? Like, just keeping it real.
Right.
You know, Kendrick is an Israelite, not conscious, trash. You know, so I think we need the information disseminated, man. So, because one thing that we don't have in the conscious community is a fellowship, and most people join groups because of the fellowship. You know what I'm saying? And we don't have, now we have an African village down here in St. Louis, and we got one in Atlanta. But, you know, that's 2 I can name. It might be 10 around the United States, but that's nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I think us putting out that information might inspire people to get together and start to congregate and fellowship with other people who think like them. Because for the most part, it's hard to find other people who think like us. And then a lot of people call themselves conscious, but they're not literate. They haven't read. They haven't educated themselves. You know what I'm saying? So it's deep or whatever. I want to double back on this real quick, and then I want to jump into my last point with you, B-Dot. The thing with the Mike Brown thing, I think, man, this comes from a St. Louis guy. Black people feel like we're the only people that feel like you cannot make money off of black people. Like, straight up.
You cannot what? I'm sorry. You're breaking up a little bit. What you say?
I think black people are the only people who feel like they cannot make money off each other. You cannot go out here and make money off of black people because they always want to criticize you, right? So with that being said, if, bro, white people sell motherfucking Abraham Lincoln shirts all day, or one type of clothing with different faces of people who have, you know, their ancestors. You know what I'm saying? So when you become a public figure, you become icon, and anybody can have access to your information. We a production. We shoot film, and we want to. We can shoot without anybody's permission. We can shoot a Mike Brown documentary. We can shoot a Rosa Parks documentary. Anybody, because we can shoot a documentary about Brother for Life without his permission and put out whatever information we have because he's a public figure. Once you're a public figure, people can use you or do whatever. Even though, you know, I can understand and respect that, why you making money off of the family, you know, to a degree, but this person's an icon and they're used as a symbol of certain things as far as respect and liberation and pride and things like that. So if I were to draw out a picture of them, I can sell that shirt because that's my intellectual property, even though that's that man. Right. It's just a part of being a public figure. And, you know, that's what I feel on that situation. So even with that angle, I don't think the company that sold the shirt, the product, they shouldn't feel bad because I've been out there protesting and I've seen plenty of black people out there selling all kind of stuff based off of the situation. But it just is a part of things. Like I'm sure when Rodney King had the shit beat out of him and they was out there protesting, it was niggas out there selling her to Rodney King, and Rodney King ain't make a dime off of it. You know what I'm saying? It's just part of the game. So right. That's what I feel on that. But look, this is the point I want to make with you, B-Doc, because you always want to hear me debate and stuff like that. So I know we're gonna have different opinion on this. Let's talk Kanye West, bro. I think you dropped the song. Let's talk about some of his points as far as, you know, his perspective and his reality that he's living in. So I understand the song, and you know, what you was trying to do when you put it out and everything. Let's, you know, just my biggest thing with Kanye West, man, I think he don't know how to express himself. And I think he's in the public eye, so I know how shaky it can be to want to say things like I'm saying, like Flocka come out and he'd be like, "Oh, white people are from the Caucasus Mountains," and they're like, "What you mean?" And he gets nervous because he like, "Okay, I've heard the information, but he don't know the information." You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between knowing the thing and doing other things. And I think Kanye is that. You know what I'm saying? Like when you say slavery is a choice. So I know what he was trying to say, but let's talk about it. I think slavery was a choice. Let's talk about it.
Interesting. Now, I mean, when you say slavery was a choice, I think that I think that when you put yourself in the perspective of our ancestors during that time, to say that slavery was a choice is to say that the other choice would literally be suicide.
Okay.
So I think it's easy to make that statement if we've never been in a position of life or death.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's literally what it was. Like if you're on the plantation and you feel like you sit there and you say, "Hey, you know what? This is a choice. We're enslaved, but we're choosing to stay enslaved. How about we just fight?" All right, so you go fight, and then you're outnumbered in terms of weaponry. You know, you don't got no guns, you don't got no ammo. Unless you strategically do it, like some of the slave rebellions that happened, like the most famous one, Nat Turner. You do things like when the white man is asleep and you creep up on him and catch him slipping, of course. But for the most part, we wasn't organizing as such. So to say that slavery was a choice is to kind of be, in my opinion, to be insensitive to the lifestyle and the mind frame of what was happening around you at that time. Because unless you're ready to die, slavery was not a choice. I mean, unless you just say, "Hey, you know what, we're enslaved and I'd rather die than to be a slave," and then everybody just, try to fight back and get murdered or, commit suicide, whatever the case may be. And so that's where I find it to be a little insensitive. I do get it. I mean, fight then. Yeah, I get it. Okay, so if it's not a choice, then I mean, if it is a choice, then why don't you fight or whatever? Why don't you fight for your freedom or whatever? I just feel like, I'm just a little more sensitive to what my ancestors are going through. I mean, you gotta remember too, it's even more psychologically compounded in your brain when you're born into it. Like if you're born into slavery, you literally don't know nothing else to fight for.
Right.
So unless you was some of the first slaves that came off that boat, that came from the beautiful shores of West Africa and had your own civilization and your own spirituality and all that you would want to fight for, to live for, then it's kind of really insensitive to tell somebody that was born into slavery that it was a choice and they should have just fought and died. Like it's so much bearing on the mind psychologically when you're going through that stuff needs to be evaluated and treated. Like nowadays, we say post-traumatic stress disorder for people that go to war for one term or whatever. But it's like, imagine being born into slavery and what that could psychologically do to the mind. Right. You know what I mean? So I would just contend that it's an insensitive statement. I get the point, but it's an insensitive statement to because you can't make any type of correlation to that to say that you feel that. You can't even imagine, like we can't even imagine in our wildest dreams what that must be like to wake up every day shackled in chains and getting whipped and hung and killed and raped and mutilated and things of that nature every day, and what that psychologically does to the mind and how that just brainwashes the mind with so much fear that you don't even want to fight back. You just say, fuck it, I'm going to just live this life because there really is no other way. So I think it's insensitive, and coming from somebody like Kanye West, it's even more problematic because here you have somebody that came in the game, kind of preaching some black power shit, so to speak, or trying to uplift black people, so to speak, and then he chooses to take all his money and everything that he built for himself and the empire that he built for himself. He chooses to be with what the fuck is she, Persian? What is she? Whatever the fuck Kim Kardashian is. He chooses to give his money. You know what I mean? Like he chooses to give his money and resources and share that with a Persian woman. You know what I mean? Like so I just can't. There's a lot of things about him I don't respect. So when it comes from him, for me personally, it's even more problematic.
Okay, I feel exactly what you're saying. Hey, great point, great point, great point. When I say these things, I give all respect to my ancestors. I am the most, I understand that we stand on the shoulders of our ancestors 100%. Now, Kanye, white women and all the contradictions and shit, that aside, and I don't agree with no type of diversity and shit. I'm sure you already know. So,
right.
Here's the thing with the slavery joint or whatever. So a few months ago, before black people even, before Kanye West made the statement, black people was cheering Black Panther, whatever the guy name is, when he, his last quote before he killed himself or fell off the cliff was basically, I'd rather die, than, be, as a slave. Now, I will say this. I do respect the fact from their perspective that they were not educated. Obviously, I wake up every day and I know how the fucking world looks. I know the different the directions of east, west, north, and they did not have access to this information. So my education actually liberates me as an individual. Yeah. So a person couldn't necessarily put me in chains and tell me to stay still because I understand that, Jesus is not my savior. I know where to go if something like that would have happened. I can probably survive on the land if it come down to it. So I understand that slave means no choice. You have no options or whatever. So I feel that, but being that there was individuals who fought back and a lot more than history even gives credit to means that there was some type of option. Now you got the strong and you got the weak. You know what I'm saying? And I respect the weak as far as them making their choice to just say we're going to roll over. But we really got to pay attention to the people who said that they're not going to do it without the education, without the literacy, without the knowledge. All of these things, they still made the decision, which is a choice, to not be enslaved, to fight back, to kill, murder with the same doctrine that was fed to them. They used it against the people that enslaved them with it. So it's still, we still have to add that into perspective when it comes to having the option of choice. Bill Gates said this, and this is a little different, but I think this applies for this. He said, if you're born poor, that's one thing. If you die poor, that's another. So based off the decisions and the choices that you have, everyone has a decision. You know what I'm saying? The homeless man, we can look at him. We can compare him to the slave back in the day, right? He sits on the corner and he begs for change. Now he doesn't have education. He possibly got education. We don't know. He has access to education. Right now in St. Louis on the downtown library is a quote that's on the library, and it basically says that we love the library because it helps those who wants to help themselves. So with that being said, you have a free library for a homeless man to go and walk into and gather the information that he needs to survive in the America's economy. He can simply go out, buy some water, and start to sell people the water, exchange with people to get himself off the street. Because all the economy is moving money. So he has the same opportunity as me. I can be homeless and I can go walk into a library and educate myself out of poverty. Because poverty is not only a mentality, but it's also, you having skills or you having education. You know what I'm saying? The average poor student walks into school and basically they know less than 3,000 words. The average middle class student walks into class and they know more than 3,000 words. So we can equivalate the same thing when it comes to not being educated as a slave and not being educated as a poor person. So I think that's what makes it a choice, being that you have the option to be that. So being that you have the option to be enslaved or be poor, you also have the option to be rich or to be free or liberated.
No, I feel you. But what I would say, what I would say as a somewhat of a rebuttal to that is that when you look at any civilization, it's made up of different compartments, right? So you have your high priest, your high priest that deal with spirituality and study that. And then you'll have your medicinal people, your doctors, your surgeons, and things of that nature. Then you'll have your people that study law, and then you'll have your warriors right? So when we study human evolution, or we study us as a species in general, there always was some type of order or some type of structure in terms of people's, I'll use the word spirit, right? Some people have a warrior spirit. Some people have an intellectual spirit, like in terms of just the makeup, the foundation of who they are. Everybody is not going to pick up a gun and shoot. Everybody's not going to pick up a knife and stab. So I get what you're saying, and I partially agree. I would just say that the warrior spirit that came out in a lot of our ancestors during those slave rebellions is just naturally who they were. You know what I mean? It's somewhat predicated upon the circumstance, but if you take them out of that circumstance and put them in a different circumstance, they still going to be warriors. Like all of our brothers today that gangbang and that's willing to go out there and commit murders, they are against their own people. They are misguided warriors. They have a warrior spirit because everybody don't have the heart to go put in work or go do this or fight back. So I get what you're saying, but I also get that the makeup of civilization can't have 90% warriors, 90% people that's trying to fight. You have those that fight for the community, that fight for the civilization. Then you got those that are educated. Then you got those that are doctors and lawyers and high priests. All these different categories that make up thriving civilizations. So our ancestors that was willing to put in work and fight, and although they didn't have the proper resources and educational tools, I would say, yeah, that's sometimes it's just somebody's makeup. Like me and you, for instance, everybody ain't built to be conscious. Everybody don't have that in them to be open to the information. You know what I'm saying? So it's just sometimes people are who they are. That's just. And that could be a stretch because that could just be my belief. But I mean, if we study history and we study civilizations, that's what you'll see. You'll see warriors, then you'll see lawmakers, then you'll see regular citizens, then you'll see high priests, like we have it in our civilizations today. You know, whatever country, whatever government, you see it. Like you see structure, you see order, you see hierarchy. So I would argue that, and then also to your analogies with when we deal with the Killmonger character and things of that nature. And I think you even said it. I mean, his perspective was one of, I would have rather die because of what I know. You know what I mean? And I think you mentioned it. Like he was, obviously he was educated as far as like who he was and where he came from originally, and being this African American that goes to quote unquote Wakanda and wants to take it over. He knows of our greatness. He knows what we can do. So he would rather die than to be a slave. So I would still contend that a lot of them slaves, once again, that's how they grew up, and they didn't really know no different. So I'm not really disagreeing with you. I just think that it's a very, very sensitive, layered topic, and for me and you to build on it is beautiful. But for Kanye West to say it irresponsibly in the public is problematic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I feel that. I feel that 100%. So, look, what do you think about him sitting down with Trump and shit? Because my thing was, with the whole Trump thing, is Marcus Garvey sat down with the KKK. So, Let
me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you this. You a Kanye fan? Because I want to make sure this. I want to make sure this perspective is unbiased, and it's not related. It's not related to how brilliant he is as an artist.
Okay, so I do like his music, right? I'm not the person to go out and buy no shoes or anything like that. I'm not a fan. I don't like none of his new stuff for real. Like outside of some of his classic mixtapes and stuff. I mean, classic albums. So I'm definitely one of those people who might criticize like New Slaves, all that shit trash. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion. So I'm really a selective listener when it comes to Kanye. But me just analyzing him, his platform, where he grew up at, I feel it exactly. I've definitely done my due diligence as far as his catalog of music, and I don't think he's as great as everybody says he is. As a okay. No, I just have to ask, because sometimes people are so in love with who he is as an artist that it kind of blinds a lot of shit. Not to say that that's what's happening with you, but that happens to me a lot when I talk to people that are He's not in my top. He's not in my top 10. Not at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Got you.
so with the whole Trump thing or whatever, I mean, he talked about Edgar Hoover. You know what I'm saying? Like, he talked about prison reform.
Yeah.
You know, niggas even go up there and talk about
I'm in the car.
these type of situation. You know what I'm saying? That's a,
Right.
you know, niggas. You know how niggas blind when it comes to black people or whatever. And higher places. Niggas like, oh, you know, he's Obama. The Congress is fighting against him. This and that. So why y'all ain't going up there asking Obama what he ain't doing for black people? So,
Right.
So what you think about the whole Trump move?
I mean, look, somebody told me that he was kind of playing the whole spook by the door kind of idea, as far as like just wearing the MAGA hat so that he can get in good with him and kind of just whatever. You know what I mean? That's. So if that's the angle, I don't know. It's tricky. If he was really playing the game so that he could get in good with him and he got a couple people out of jail, I guess, then I get it. But once again, when I look at I got to judge somebody's whole foundation. So when I look at somebody like Kanye that's egotistical, that doesn't really care about the black community, that's always trying to promote high fashion and all this, you know, European white perspective bullshit and don't really care about his people like that. You know, when I see him come out of nowhere with all this shit, you know, it's just hard for me to believe that it's coming from a genuine place. I believe that he truly believes like he's some genius savior, when at the end of the day, bro, you just make great music. There's nothing about you. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing about you that's political, or there's nothing about you that's political or revolutionary. There's nothing about you that's inspiring to little black kids other than your music. You know what I mean? Like, you're not inspiring us no other way. So it's hard for me to judge Kanye because I don't really know where it's coming from. I don't know if it's really coming from a good place or if he's just egotistical and arrogant and he has mental health issues. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really know, but I do appreciate how he got some people out of prison and, you know, people that were wrongly convicted or whatever the case. So I can't hate on that. And if he's truly trying to like be on some spy shit and infiltrate the system and all that and to get in good, then I just got to respect that. You know what I mean? That's truly what he's doing.
Okay, I definitely feel you. Feel you, B-Dot. I know you probably ready to wrap it up and shit. I want to keep talking all day with me, man. It's a couple personal questions, man. I do want to ask you real quick that I'm sure a lot of us know. What's your diet like? Are you a carnivore? Are you plant-based? Are you vegan? Are you vegetarian?
Yeah. I try to be plant-based vegan. I'm not going to lie. I do slip up from time to time, but I'm definitely plant-based vegan.
Okay, cool. And then as far as the school of thought, I know you say Pan-African.
Yeah, I'm Pan-African. You know, so basically, I'm just depending on the conversation, I'm going to glorify whatever particular topic is at hand. For instance, if we're talking about religion and spirituality, then I'm gonna talk about Kemet because Kemet is the home base, is the first starting place of all religions.
Okay, well, definitely.
Yeah. So I deal with that. When I deal with my own personal spiritual system that I try to adhere to or subscribe to, that's Yoruba. Because my thing is, when I did my DNA test and it shows me that I'm West African, and it shows me that I'm a high percentage of Nigerian, then I want to connect to something that I know for sure my ancestors was connected to. You know what I mean? Yeah. So for me, that's Yoruba or Ifa. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to get more into that and learn more about that to have like a spiritual stand base.
You believe in that DNA testing shit?
Say that again?
I said you believe the DNA testing shit is accurate for black people?
I believe that it's accurate. Okay, so it's accurate when it comes to the haplogroups, which are ways for the genetic markers that show you what your paternal or maternal lineage is. As far as every percentage, perhaps not. No, perhaps as far as every percentage, like whether the percentages are correct, perhaps not. But I believe in the haplogroups and how they show you, you know, where you come from and things of that nature. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I definitely like that you've educated yourself on this, bro, because I've done some research in college or whatever where I did a presentation, and a lot of people just go out and take the test, and they don't have the information to back it. So it's definitely something, you know, we could talk about, you know, whenever, but it's a great conversation to have when it comes to the validity of the DNA testing and everything. So as far as the whole Christian angle, man, you think you'll ever do it as far as it being the thing for you, as far as attacking the Christian faith, and when you have a little bit more time to really go at it, you know what I'm saying? Because I know you didn't have as much time with the Loso lineup and everything.
I don't know, bro. It just truly depends. Like right now, I'm just focused on the music, man. So it truly depends. I might feel it. I might feel the need to do so, and I might just do it. But as of right now, nah, bro. I'm not even concerned with it right now, bro.
Okay. And my last question.
Appreciate
I got one more. What's your feelings on the flat Earth thing, man? Do you want to speak on it? If not, I understand. Could it be used as an angle to you later?
We could. That's a big topic. We could build on it later, but the Earth is definitely not flat.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, the Earth is definitely not flat. And if you a flat earther, brother, please bring me on the show next time so we can debate that.
We appreciate you, B-Dog.